Well, this video introduces articles 5 and 12 on the geology site. It really refers to the business that folded rocks were found in many parts of the world. These are rocks that are bent rather than the usual flat rocks. And in particular, this refers to the folded rocks found in the Grand Canyon and the research was done by Dr. Andrew Snelling. I accompanied him on one of the Grand Canyon tours and on a raft, and it was very good to chat to him and talk to him about these particular folded rocks, because what they showed was that these folds extend across different rock layers, and the only reasonable explanation would be for these folds to be the product of a bending, a contortion of the earth, which took place whilst the rocks were all wet, because there's no sign in the rocks themselves, and that's what the research that Andrew Snelling did showed. There was no sign of any undue heat or undue pressure. Undue heat or undue pressure would have created a different crystal pattern in the rocks. Instead, when you analyze the rocks in detail, what you see is consistent with those rocks having been bent whilst they're all wet, damp, not solidified, because solid rocks don't bend except under extreme heat or pressure. Well, what this shows is that those layers of rocks must have all been laid down at the same time. There couldn't have been millions of years between them, because the rocks had been dried out, and so when that bending process took place, they would have shattered or sheared. They wouldn't have bent. And this evidence, which the first article is what you call an introduction, so Article 5 is an introduction, Article 12 is the detailed analysis. It's clear evidence for a worldwide flood, a clear evidence that these rocks were not laid down over millions of years, but they were laid down at the same time. And again, this is a cumulative level of evidence I'm presenting in geology that shows that the worldwide flood is not only credible, but I'm coming to the conclusion the evidence is irrefutable, which is hardly surprising, because if you had a flood that covered the whole world, I would expect nothing less than irrefutable evidence. Either way, either irrefutable evidence for the flood, or, as it were, because of the absence of evidence, irrefutable evidence against the flood. And I think what this website shows, and what all these articles will show, is that we have irrefutable evidence for the flood. And just as Jesus said, we're entering into the days just as Noah, the days of Noah. And if Jesus believed in a worldwide flood, I think it's reasonable that we should believe in it as well. Thank you for listening.